You guys, they have officially announced it. Warzone Mobile is shutting down pretty much. Like, that's pretty much what they said today. To be more specific here is, I'll just throw up like the tweet that they mentioned. It's actually a pretty long tweet, but long story short, they basically said, the traditional, we're proud of what we did. We're proud of what we accomplished, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, they're essentially announcing that they're not going to be supporting Warzone Mobile anymore. That's pretty much what the official team, well, what's left of the team, I should say, that's pretty much what they've announced. I mean, all 15 people that were still playing Warzone Mobile are probably pretty devastated right now, to be completely honest. I know I'm kind of making a joke of it, but the reality of it is that this is pretty sad. I've been covering Warzone Mobile since back when literally like the only info we had about the game was like a few job postings on Activision's website. Like, we're talking years at this point, okay? And a lot of you guys have been here on the channel the entire time because of some of those videos, because of the Warzone Mobile coverage that we covered here on the channel, dating back to like 2021, 22 and stuff like that. And so it is kind of sad to have, basically came full circle and now the game's shutting down. And this is more likely than not one of the last Warzone Mobile videos that, will be done on this channel. It is a really sad moment, but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, we knew this was coming. If you guys have seen my previous Warzone Mobile videos over the last year since this game has been released, I've constantly talked about the issues. I've constantly talked about what was wrong with the game, with the optimization, just with the lack of coverage of all of the various mobile devices and the lack of people that were able to play it and stuff like that. I've had to defend myself in those videos too. People saying that I didn't know what I was talking about. People saying that, the game was doing fine, that it was thriving, all this crazy stuff. And this is the outcome, unfortunately. It sucks to be like, yeah, I was right, but I kind of was right. Like, we literally have talked about this in previous videos, being like, Warzone Mobile is in trouble. And a lot of people didn't want to believe it, but this is the end result. The game is shutting down. Now, to be more specific, they basically said in their like official tweet or whatever that they're ceasing like any future updates about the game. So it's technically not going offline like 100% or anything like that. But what they're doing is they're pretty much not going to be updating the game any further, like with any future updates, events, stuff like that. They're delisting it. You only have a few days to download the game, and then it's just going away forever. And then they basically will eventually turn the servers off. I don't think, at least they didn't announce when they're going to be turning the servers off or anything like that, but obviously that day is going to be coming pretty soon. So it's really sad, man. But at the same time, it's like, we knew this was happening. Like, they never got the optimization issues under control. I mean, like, this gameplay, I literally recorded 10 minutes before I started recording this audio for the video. This gameplay is of, right now, like of as of the same day that they have announced that the game is shutting down. And as you can see, it's filled with issues. First of all, I'm using a Red Magic 10 Pro. It's one of the most powerful Android devices that you can buy right now. The game is not even getting a consistent 60 FPS. The graphics look pretty bad. Like, they're not sharp, they're not detailed, even though I'm playing on the highest graphical settings possible. The phone is running really hot despite having a built-in fan and stuff like that, and it's got that flickering issue, like it's a weird visual graphic bug or something like that. And we're talking about a game that has been globally released for over a year now. Like, they were never able to get the optimization issues under control, even for some of the most expensive and some of the most powerful mobile gaming devices there is. Ever since they announced that they weren't going to be focusing on like lower to mid-range optimization anymore, and they cut the amount of supported devices by like a huge amount. We talked about that a few months ago when they did that, with the whole Black Ops 6 update and stuff. Ever since they did that, I knew that this day was eventually going to come. Like, they were already suffering. They were already not making money. They were already having issues with like filling lobbies and stuff. The game was, marketed as like 99% real players, like very few bots, and that obviously was not true. Like, most matches were filled with bots, whether it was multiplayer or BR. I knew that was already happening before the BO6 integration, and then after that, everything just became worse. The optimization was worse, the gameplay was worse. When it came to like real players and stuff, that took a dramatic dive and stuff, and it was obvious. It was obvious that this was eventually going to be the outcome. It wasn't even a matter of like if it shut down, it was literally just a matter of when. I know some people are probably going to be like happy that this is happening. I definitely am not one of those people, even though I've talked about the issues with Warzone Mobile for months and months and months and months. I really did want this game to succeed. I think the core gameplay is and has always been very fun, and I did like the, I guess, idea of it, like bringing the real authentic Call of Duty experience to mobile that's different than Call of Duty Mobile, which is obviously like its own entity at this point. I did like all of that, but the reality of it is that like the game just was never fully optimized. It was never fully fixed. They were never able to get control under that, even with Activision's pretty much limitless resources and all of their studios working on this game. Like, they just couldn't get it under control. And it just does really suck because, again, I know some people are going to be like congratulating this or being happy about it, but it sets a very dangerous precedent going forward, because this is not the first time a mobile shooter has shut down. Obviously, Apex was, similar. Battlefield was similar. New State didn't shut down, but it never recovered. It's pretty much a dead game anyway. All of these big mobile shooters have in one way or another flopped and then had, some pretty bad outcomes. And it just sucks that this has become the new norm. But yeah, super unfortunate to see, but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, we all knew this was going to come eventually. There was a few people here on the channel that were in denial of that, but this, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think about Warzone Mobile shutting down in the comments down below, of course. And with all of that being said, though, guys, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Subscribe, motherfucker.